Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a beautiful lighted vase, and I'll be doing that by upcycling a bottle and using some beautiful tissue paper, some fairy lights, and a few other things. So let's head on over to the craft table and get started.
So for this project, I'm going to start off with this awesome bottle that iced tea came in, and I just love that it has flat sides. And I'm also going to be using Mod Podge and this beautiful tissue paper that I got from the Dollar Tree. I used this tissue paper in my last video, and I might have said that I had never decoupaged with tissue paper before, but I started thinking about it, and I actually did some decoupage with tissue paper back when I was in high school, but that was a lifetime ago. So I would like to thank Kimo for reminding me about this, and Kimo's YouTube channel is called Kimo Craft, and I'm going to put a link below in the description box to that because he does so many wonderful things. I know you're just going to love his channel. Okay, let's get started. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of that tissue paper a little bit bigger than the bottle. So there will be excess, but I'm going to show you how we're going to take that off. But to start with, I'm going to be putting Mod Podge on one side of the bottle at a time. And then I'm going to be applying the tissue paper, and I'm just going to work my way around the bottle, and I am going to let you watch that process. Now that I've got that on, and before I put the next layer of Mod Podge over it, I have excess tissue to remove, and the way I'm going to do that is with a water brush, which is basically the same thing as just a paintbrush with water. So you could just use a regular paintbrush and some water, but I like to use this because I can tear, and I like the oh, what would you call that? You know, I don't want a cut edge on this. I like it when it's, I don't want to say ragged. I just want it uneven. I think it blends better than just a straight edge, but that is just my preference. You know, you can do what works best for you. But as you can see, it's just tearing off really easy. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I get everything off that I want off, and making sure that I'm not taking off more than I want to. So I'm just going to do a little at a time before I go back over this. Now, see, there's a lot up here at the top, and I can actually tuck that down around the top. And so in order to do that, I'm going to add a little Mod Podge on the inside. And actually, this is already starting to tear there. So you know what? Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll make a nice edge. I don't want to have too much bulk in here. Nope, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Like the way I'm very indecisive. If you watch my videos enough, you will know that I am very indecisive. Always have been. Always a tough decision for me. But no worries. I will get this done. And we're just going to tuck this down inside and press it up against the Mod Podge, making sure that everything is nicely tucked in. Oh, and there go my dogs. Excuse that barking, but there must be something out there that's got their attention. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm just going to go over it again with another coat of Mod Podge before I get on to the next step. Okay, and now that the first top coat of Mod Podge is dry, I'm going to put on a second coat, and I'm going to be wrapping this lace around the middle of this. And I got this lace from Michael's. You get 10 yards, which is 30 feet, and the regular cost is like $9.99, but with a 40% off coupon, I got this for $5.99, and it is lasting me forever. So let's get started at putting on the Mod Podge and applying the lace. Okay, and now that I've got the lace on, I'm going to be using my Fabri-Tac just to seal right along this edge, just to make sure that there is a good seal because it does overlap the other lace. And so the Mod Podge may not come through as good as I would like it to. So let's just get this right on there. Now the lace is on. I'm going to smooth out some of this Mod Podge there. Once in a while, you'll get these little blobs, and you do not want them. You want to smooth them out the best you can. So I'm just going to go around the edges and make sure that everything is smoothed out. I'm even going to hit the edges of that lace a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'm going to let that dry, and I'll be right back. And now it's time to start decorating, and I'm going to be using these flat back pearls that are really beautiful. I have a really long strand of them in my stash. Don't remember where I got it from, but I'm going to be putting that around the bottom and the top of that lace piece, and I am going to be using my Fabri-Tac to do that. Okay, now the pearls are on and it's really looking beautiful. And now it's time to add this applique right here, and I'm also going to add an extra flower because I wanted 3 going across and not 2. And to do that, I'll be using my Beacon Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to put some right here on the back of the applique. There we go. Little down the middle right there. I'm not covering the whole applique, I'm just kind of putting a T is what I'm calling it on there. And get this lined up just so. Okay, and a little bit on the back of this flower. Let's see, how am I putting the flower on there? This way? Maybe that way. Ooh, not there. Maybe right there. Okay, I think that works. What do you think? All right, maybe a little bit more centered. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do next is, let me see. I'm going to take some of this beautiful crinkle seam binding that I got at Paper Sweeties. They have so many colors. I just love it, and I just ordered a bunch, and this one I believe is called Watermelon. I'll put a link below in the description box, but I'm going to tie that right around the top, and then I'm going to add this butterfly that I splattered with some pink chalk paint, just kind of the same way I did it in my last video with, toothbrush, and just splattered it on there. So let me get this started, and yeah, let me get this started. Sorry, I had to get some glue off my fingers before I could go cut a piece of this seam binding, and this would probably be easier if I had this bottle sitting upright, but I wanted to make sure that, you could see it on camera, and I wasn't able to really get the camera at an angle with its, sitting upright. So I just wrapped it around a few times, and now I'm just going to tie it and tie a bow. And I'm not the greatest at tying bows. Usually I'm using my bow at all, but can't do it for something like this. So we have that on there, and next I'm going to take this butterfly and I'm going to be putting that right there in the middle of that bow. I decided I needed to trim off a little bit of that seam binding before I put the butterfly on, and now it's time for that. I love these little, I don't know if they're brass, antique brass butterflies, but they are like one of my favorite things. And I have some, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to get any more again. So I hate using them, but I hate not using them. Okay, I'm going to have to hold that there a little bit to make it stay. And then I'm going to be putting a pearl in the middle of it. And yes, you guys will eventually get to see this upright, I promise. Okay, I absolutely promise. But while I'm putting it together, I just don't want to keep changing camera positions back and forth. So as soon as that is dry and not stuck to my thumb, I'm going to add one of the pearls, and then I think it's going to be almost time for you to see this upright because we're going to have to add the fairy lights and the flowers. Okay, now I have the camera in a position where you can see the bottle standing up. But first, let's talk about the flowers. So I just took a few flowers from those bundles that you can get at the Dollar Tree, and I taped them together with some washi tape. And now I'm going to be taking these fairy lights that I got from Amazon, and I'm going to be taping this switch to the back of the flowers so that the switch is easily accessible to turn it on and off, but it's still going to be hidden. So let me do that really quick because the camera is so close. I think it's probably best if I do this off camera so that I don't bump the camera. Well, we'll see. Yep, off camera because I'm going to bump it. Okay, I've got the little switch taped on the back, and I have pulled out the little tab for the battery. So now when we turn on the switch, we have lights. And now it's time for me to put those lights inside there.
And here is the finished vase, and in a moment you'll see it with the lights on. But I have to say that the pictures do not do it justice. The lights look so much more spectacular in person. I really love the way this turned out, and I hope you do too. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas of your own of ways to upcycle your trash into treasures. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye. If you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope you consider that too. And if you do, be sure to click the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos or giveaways. And I hope you stop by Crafters Castle on Facebook and also Crafters Castle Challenge blog to enter your creations.